Part of forging intergenerational relationships is also about knowing how to be a friend. I think that friendship is one of those things that develops not just because it just happens, but it's actually a skill that we learn and we learn to pick up. Even as I was preparing for this talk today, we were having a bit of a talk amongst our team as we were doing this, and we discovered that it actually takes some effort to be a friend. Friendship is a skill. And some of those skill sets are skills in which we learn from having relationships with people from other generations. How did those who went before us or are older than us do it? I have an incredible friendship with a pastor friend of mine who's now 78 years old. And oftentimes I've learned how to be a very good friend. One of the shocking things that happened to me one day when I was walking with my friend Paul, and he asked me as he was just had his 65th birthday, and he said, "Marco, do you think I still have what it takes?" At the time I was in my mid-30s and I felt unqualified even to answer the question. But as we walked along, I realized that he was letting me into something very precious and very personal in his life. Regardless of how I answered his question, I learned a great lesson that day in how to be a good friend. Sometimes you have to open your heart up. Sometimes you have to be somewhat vulnerable and give yourself that space, or the other person some space, to hear you. In another instance, I remember walking through a forested area with another friend of mine, and we had spent a few days just going for hikes together. And I asked him, "Hey Brent, have you ever had a best friend?" And sadly he said, "No, I don't know what that's like." And I offered myself and said, "Well, if you want, I could be that for you." He never took me up on that offer. But I do know this, that unless we open ourselves up and give ourselves a little bit of space and open up to others and let people into that portion of our heart that sometimes we keep hidden, it's really hard to have a friend. Loneliness is a big problem in today's day and age. But part of the cure for loneliness is learning how to be a friend. I'll see you next time.